Yeah, how do I look?
Beautiful.
All right. So do you, man. You look so like polished.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank
Appreciate
God.
try to have the polished look. I think a Mr. Clean outfit for Halloween is going to be in my future.
Yeah, I like the shaved head. It looks just sleek, you know?
Yeah.
Good suit. Yeah.
I'm like
Anyway.
a skinny Jason Statham.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it. How's it going, everyone? Matt Leighton, Shawn Battle. Welcome back to another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show, another virtual episode. It is May 14th. We are rocking and rolling through this quarantine. The governor says that the Commonwealth can open up, but Northern Virginia said not so fast, which was probably the best thing for everyone involved as we slowly make our way back into the public, hopefully sometime in June. Shawn, how's it going today?
Good, my friend. I'm still in quarantine, getting tired of it. You know what I did yesterday?
What'd you do
I
yesterday?
got a haircut. I had to get a haircut so bad. You know, you could probably do your own thing. Do you?
I do. I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had my barber came to my house call yesterday. It was awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
your barber, he just came, he had his protective equipment, and he gave you a nice trim there.
Yeah, he wore his mask. He was socially distant as he could be with cutting my hair. But I mean, like, we got it done, you know?
Do you think that mobile barbers are going to become more prevalent because of this?
I do. I think it's a good business plan to start thinking about that, right, barbers?
So one quick story, you know, I'm a Nationals fan, and the Nationals, they used to have a player on their team named Gio Gonzalez, Nat Gio, as they'd call him. Fantastic pitcher, fantastic player, fantastic person. And one unique story was when the Nationals acquired him, they got him from Oakland. And it came out that he would actually fly his barber across the country to DC in order to get haircuts. Now, Shawn, baseball's not a sport like soccer where you're on, you know, zoomed in and everyone can see you. You're literally wearing a hat when you're playing baseball. So
Yeah, does it matter that much?
you know, Gio, he got his barber flown out, and then, you know, he you know, still wears a hat. So cool. Well, in today's video, I'm gonna adjust my screen here a little bit so you don't see that beige wall. There you go. In today's video, we're gonna be touching on a few different things. Number one is, of course, a market update. You know, we've been hemming and hawing really on, oh, is now a good time to buy? Is now a good time to sell? Oh, what's the indecisiveness of the market? How is that going to play out? And Shawn, April was the first full month in quarantine. That, you know, that late March, it started happening, but April, it really started picking up. And so now the April numbers are rolling through. And, you know, obviously home sales are down in the DC area. Pending contracts are down. But do you want to take a guess at what the biggest decrease in market statistics has been?
New listings.
Ding, ding, ding. Winner,
Ding.
winner, chicken dinner. New listings were down almost 40%, 40% across the DC metro area in the month of April, which is historically the busiest time of year for real estate. So just to give you concrete numbers and an idea, April 2019, we had 7,976. So basically 8,000 new listings. April last year, April 2020 this year, we had 4,996. So basically 8,000 last year, 5,000 this year. Shawn, when we're rolling through this and, you know, you're out showing buyers with a mask on in April, what's the sentiment out there? Are the buyers frustrated? Are the sellers wanting to hold off? What do you see? What do you make of this?
I've shown a lot of properties the last couple of weeks. As we've gone through this, we saw everybody was just in panic mode at the very beginning. now people are starting to say, all right, I can go out if I know what to wear. And there are a lot of protective things that are going on, especially wearing masks, gloves, things like that. Everybody has, your stuff you put on your hands, whatever. But what I'm seeing is a breakout of buyers. I was showing properties yesterday, and the difference now is that you have to set an appointment, and you're the only agent through there at that time. And I was showing 2 houses yesterday, and both times I had people knocking on the door saying, hey, we got the 3 o'clock. We got the 3 o'clock. So there's buyers out there, and there is such a lack of inventory that we are seeing competition. Another example, I wrote 3 contracts this week. One in DC market, was competing against 3 other offers. We lost. We waived the appraisal. We did a lot of good things. We lost because somebody else waived the home inspection. Second one was in Springfield, totally different market, but it's the same thing. People competing. We went in early, and keep in mind, these are like 2 days on the market. This is DC went off on Friday, and the one in Springfield I ratified on a Sunday.
They didn't even wait for the week. I mean, usually you're waiting for the open house, but maybe wait a couple days. They didn't wait.
Didn't even wait. And today, I just wrote a contract this morning. I have to submit it in 45 minutes. Don't let me forget.
I'll remind you.
They're gonna review it today. It's Friday. It came on yesterday. So I think what sellers are seeing is sellers are like, hey, if I can get this sold right away and not have to deal with people coming into my house, then let's do it. And buyers are saying, let's get in there early, and we have to write strong because the competition is out there. And so everyone that I've written, competition.
Yeah. I'm thinking, so you wrote 3 offers. How many did you get?
Well, we'll see if I get this one. And 3 different clients, 3 different areas. So one in DC, competing against 2 others. One in Springfield, competing against 1 other. This one's in Fairfax, single family home, competing against at least 1 other, and it's Friday. Came on yesterday.
It's Thursday.
So what day today? Thursday. Today's Thursday.
You're losing your mind with this quarantine stuff.
It's not even Friday. That's my point. It's not even Friday.
It's not even Friday.
You're in there on Wednesday, and they are making a decision today. So that just shows you how sellers are, right? Sellers are like kind of freaked out. They're tentative to put it on the market, but then they're like, hey, let's sell this thing. Let's just get it gone. So you have to be in quickly, and you have to write the offer quickly. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show you that sellers are maybe valuing convenience a little bit more, because I think the reason that they're accepting an offer or considering offers early is because they're scared. They're nervous. Yeah. They don't know what's going to happen. So now more than ever, timeliness of your offer is imperative. But at the same time, it all depends. So, maybe in an Arlington single family or a DC row home, they may still have a deadline of Tuesday. I mean, that brings up a good speculation, Shawn. If you're listing a property, what are you advising your seller? Are you saying, hey, take the first one? Because if you're taking the first one, it means you're scared and you don't have any leverage and you think the buyer has options. That's what that tells me. So with the lack of inventory on the market, what would you tell your seller? Would you tell them to take it right away, or would you say wait at least 4 or 5 days to see what comes in?
I'm always the type that says put a deadline, wait through the weekend to see what we can get, because competition breeds higher prices and better offers. And so if you're going for, my thought is today, it's Thursday. Not many people have seen that property. I saw how many people were showing it. If they let all the other people see it, you're going to get more offers. And so the competition is going to be better. And truthfully, it's going to be better off for your seller. So if I was representing the seller, I'd be like, hold off. We're not going to review offers till Tuesday. But the other side of that is you never know how the property is going to perform. And a lot of these agents are still kind of testing the waters to see, hey, I just don't know yet. Is this going to happen? Where I think we're in the market a little bit more where we can feel this. And I'm feeling that the competition is fierce. It's a great seller's market right now because of the lack of inventory. And as we progress, there's going to be more and more hitting the market. Hopefully the buyers come out the same, but this could dilute things and change the market slightly to more of a buyer's market. Who knows?
Yeah, I think nationwide there is the fear that there are less buyers that are in the market because mortgage guidelines have strengthened. However, in the DC market, we do have a lot of cash buyers. We do have a lot of people putting 20% down, and we do have a lot of well qualified buyers with cash on hand. So the sentiment that because of mortgage guidelines there's less buyers, that may not apply to the DC market. And, I'm just struggling to understand the benefits of taking an offer immediately. I mean, if you get one offer in one day, what are you going to get in 5 days? Now, I do know I feel like every time I've submitted an offer with my own deadline to get out in front of the listing agent's deadline and lost, we ended up having to resubmit at a much higher price and inevitably most likely lose because we were blown out of the water. So a seller may immediately see, oh, well, this one goes 15 higher. I think I should take it. In reality, there may be 4 other people that would go 20 or 30 higher.
Yeah, and that's reality. We've seen it over and over again where, it's always a good tactic to try to take it off the market. And I'm happy to get this thing in today and without the competition, with less competition. But truthfully, if you're representing the seller, I think you wait. But this goes to show you that every seller is different and every buyer is different, right? So
Right.
you have to know what that seller wants. And sometimes they just listen. I had a guy call me yesterday and he's like, I'm thinking about he was going to rent out his place. And he's like, I'm thinking about just selling this thing. He's like, I feel like the whole market's tanking. I think, it's a fear-based thing, right? I personally, I could see nationally how things could happen that way and you could be scared. But locally, you have to think locally. And Arlington is the DMV is just such a solid area
Yeah.
that I don't see that same trend happening here than nationally, right? But who knows? He could be completely right. And so if you don't do what they want, you're going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah, I'm smiling because I just got an email with that exact question. I have clients in the Crystal City market. It seems eons ago that we were talking about HQ2, and now that coronavirus has hit, and now that working from home is all the rage, and I think Twitter said something about their employees can now work from home. But the email from my client who owns a 3-bedroom condo in Crystal City, should he continue to rent it out for $4,200 per month, or should he put it on the market for sale? I mean, a 3-bedroom condo, walking distance to HQ2, is that better right now with the hype, or is it better when HQ2 actually arrives? Now, another thing to consider, Shawn, is I don't know if you've seen the renderings in Crystal City, but there are going to be some epic new condos that will be competing with some of these more seasoned condos, should I say. So the rent versus sale in Arlington is definitely going to be a continuing conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't have the magic ball for that. I wish we did, but the thing is, growth is happening and growth in a huge way. And so you've got to think, yes, there's going to be stronger competition, nicer buildings, higher rents, but that's also pushing up your values at the same time because it's creating a city among a city, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that the property values in the future will continue to rise because of the growth in the area. But I mean, you tell them that now, and in 3 months, the market could completely change, and we could be wrong. So it's tough to say what we believe is going to happen, and to reality. I think that the market's strong here, and it will continue to be strong. But I'm not an economist either. So
Yeah. I hear you. Cool. Let's switch gears here for a second and briefly touch on a breaking news story. I guess it was 72 hours ago. News moves pretty quickly these days.
yeah,
But the new story is that the National Association of Realtors, I'm going to pull it up here, NAR is getting sued again. They
yeah.
keep getting sued. First it was Compass. Now it is the Top Agent Network. TAN is suing NAR, alleging that their clear cooperation policy is violating some antitrust laws. Shawn, why does NAR keep getting sued?
I think they're trying to pigeonhole people, right? They're trying to narrowly focus. First of all, they're trying to protect the interests of the consumer, right?
Are
But
they?
by, but by trying to protect, they are pigeonholing people into what they believe should be, right? So their thought, well, this is the explanation, is that they're trying to protect the sellers by not just selling within one firm and getting market exposure so you get the most out of your property. But at the same time, not every seller is the same, right? Not every seller wants to be on the market. Not every seller wants to be on the MLS or have their address out or whatever. There's ultra high-end, ultra rich people that just say, hey, sell it quietly, right? So you can't pigeonhole people into one thing. And so I just think that these restrictions are making it tougher and tougher on everybody. Personally.
I feel like NAR is trying to look out for NAR and look out for the MLS and the integrity, if you will, of the MLS. And they are, putting up I don't know if red herring is, I don't think that's the right term, but they're basically putting up a facade saying, listen, we know what's best for your clients, and we're going to give a blanket answer, because who wouldn't want all the exposure? We know that it's in the best interest of your clients, and that's obviously not true. And now I think they're arguing that fair housing is coming into play. So if a specific brokerage is the only person that is marketing a property, I think they are now arguing fair housing. So this is going to be something to watch. I'm not sure what happened with the Compass lawsuit. As you know, Shawn, Compass sued NAR because Compass has the Compass Coming Soon platform where sellers can list their property on Compass Coming Soon, and that is only exclusive for Compass agents and Compass app users. So you could literally go on the app and see properties that are on Compass and that are not on the MLS. MLS said, stop, you need to cut it out. Compass cut it out for a little bit, but Shawn, if you go on the Compass website or the Compass app, there are multiple properties that are in the DC area that are on the Compass app that are not listed in the MLS, which is apparently a big no-no. So I think what's happening in terms of the lawsuit is Compass is just saying, well, boo-hoo, we're going to do it anyways.
Well, my thoughts on this is like, listen, everybody says, hey, if you want the business, get the listing, right? If you want to do what you want, if your sellers are okay with doing it how you do it, what's wrong with that, right? If Compass wants to take the listings and put them on their private, Compass Coming Soon thing, then they should be allowed to do that, I think. And I think that listen, the National Association of Realtors has a code of ethics, right? And if you think that instead of trying to pigeonhole people into something or saying that, hey, you need to do it this way, why don't you look at it as an ethics violation and say, hey, we think you're violating the code of ethics. Are you actually violating the code of ethics? And if you are, then fine that person or find a penalty for that person. But don't put up a new specific rule that changes the way that we do business and the way that maybe sellers want to do business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my thought on it. I don't think that, there's a specific way that everybody should be doing this. And that's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it appears like May 1st was the deadline for everyone to comply with clear cooperation. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. Allegedly, there's hefty fines, upwards of $5,000 if you violate this. So I think we're going to come to a crossing here with these brokerages and these these brokerages that are just saying, we're just going to do what we want to do. And the MLS giving hefty fines. And I'm not sure what's going to happen from that.
Yeah. I mean, there could be a revolt at that point. I like the way we were doing it. I don't think that of course there's people that always take advantage of situations, right? And so there's brokerages that take advantage of situations. Then go after that brokerage and say you're doing this incorrectly, right? But the new rule, I don't know. And at $5,000 fines, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think it's the answer personally.
If you're a small brokerage and you get hit with a couple $5,000 fines, you are going out of business. So that is pretty brutal and pretty aggressive. So definitely something to watch. Shawn, let's finish it up with this. With everything going on with cities and COVID-19 and people being in close quarters with one another, there is a lot of chatter about people moving out to the suburbs and the exurbs, if you will. So in terms of where people want to live, we're in the DC area. We say DC area. I'm in Arlington. Shawn is in Falls Church. But back in the day, I say back in the day, back in the 70s and the 80s, people did not want to live in DC. They did not want to spend time in the city, in DC proper. Living in DC was not desirable, obviously for different reasons, but now that the city has gotten a little bit better, everyone loves flocking downtown and hanging out at all the most popular restaurants and living spots. But that could be changing. Shawn, do you think there's going to be, I don't want to call it a mass exodus because that sounds like the world is ending, but do you think there's going to be some sort of increase in demand in, say, exurb country living where you can, one, work from home, and two, enjoy a lifestyle where you're not surrounded by a lot of humans?
Well, I definitely think that there's going to be people doing that, right? You have so many different thoughts in society, and a lot of people, well, some of those people are going to say, you know what, I'm done with this city living. I want to get out. I would just want to be by myself. If I can telework, I can live anywhere, and I'm just going to move out. But I think the majority of the people are going to stay put. I think with living in cities also comes all of the luxuries that cities have to bring. It's the shopping, it's the restaurants, it's everything. Yeah, there'll probably be restrictions on how we can do it maybe going forward until there's something to cure this disease. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be a mass exodus at all, but I think you always have your doomsday preppers, and you always have the people on the fringe of that doomsday. And this might pull people some over to that side and just say, hey, you know what? I don't need to commute anymore. I'm going to move out. But truthfully, I don't think it's going to be a huge exodus.
I have a friend of mine on Facebook. He just posted a video of his new house that he bought. I shouldn't say new house, of the house that he purchased in Front Royal, Virginia. This guy, born and raised in Falls Church, Virginia, is going to move out to Front Royal, Virginia. I don't know if it's correlation or causation, but he's right on the banks of the Shenandoah River. He can walk out of his backyard, and he has a dock, and he's on the Shenandoah River. And I started looking up house prices in, he got it for $225, wow. Which, you can't get much in Arlington for $225. Now, I don't know how well the school district is in Front Royal. I don't know the city or county amenities, and I don't know if he has local business in the area, or if he would do some sort of commute from maybe, let's say, Front Royal to Ashburn, Front Royal to Chantilly, which is, Front Royal to Reston, which is still like about an hour or so. But, having a house that's $225,000 on a river in the DC general metropolis doesn't sound like that bad of an idea.
No, it sounds like an awesome idea. And honestly, if you take me as an example, I moved out of Arlington just to go 10 minutes out to Lake Barcroft because this community has a lake, a private lake. I mean, a fox, as we were speaking, a fox just ran past my window.
Really?
That's the kind of things we have here, and it's 10 minutes to Arlington. But I'm moving back to Arlington, so everybody's going to have their different thoughts. And I have thought for a while, man, look what I could have out here or whatever, but I want to live there,
Yeah, I think you're going to see some overcorrection. It's like when Ashburn builds a new subdivision, people move from Ballston to Ashburn because look what you can get for $7.99. And then they're like, I'm in Ashburn. I am
Yeah,
very far away. And then they end up moving back. So
that's exactly it. You know, it's just like trends that we see everywhere, right? And this could be what's happening. You know, mullets were awesome when I was in high school, and I wore a mullet as long as I could,
do
and
you
then
have
they
a
went
Yarmir
away.
Yager mullet?
I did, man. I was supporting Yarmir Yager back then, you know. So I wasn't quite as bad as Yarmir. He went a little into the 95 range, I think, with a
Do
mullet.
you have any photos of yourself in a mullet?
I do, but we're not going to share them on our video. All right, maybe we will. Maybe I will.
Send one to me. I'd like to use it for some
Maybe we'll see
purposes.
it right there. But yeah, my point is just like any trend. I mean, people could move out of cities. You know, cities could be hot, cities could be cold. You know, they might move out. I just think for the most part, people are going to stay put.
I do as well. All right, guys. Well, that just about wraps it up for another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys.